Wednesday is the day where I think my brain officially starts, like, developing a hard glaze to it from, like, work things, you know? That's my opinion on it. We're playing Umineko. That's what we're doing on the stream tonight. Don't get it twisted. We're playing Umineko. Let me see audio stuff. No, dude, I can fix her. Trust me. I've said this, I've maybe had joked around and said that about many people that I've seen in my life, on the internet, whatever the case is, but this time I mean it. To Beatrice, I could fix her. So yeah, welcome to the stream. Umineko time. What time is it? 8:55? I could probably stream for a bit tonight. Alright. Firmly into episode 2. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's load into my save.
Shannon.
Ah, Jesus, Genji. You scared me. Shannon! I was trying to get my water bottle. I've re-entered my era of trying to drink more water as I stream. So, if you hear... like, I'm always conscious because the water bottle I use is kind of old. And I refuse to get myself, like, a new and probably a better water bottle or anything. It just has a screwy lid. So it makes, like, squeaky noises because it's really old. I don't think I can stress just how old this water bottle is. This water bottle is back from, like, high school years. And I've been out of high school for some time. But a couple years back, I was digging through, like, old shit of mine, and I found that I was still holding on to it, and so I started using it again. But yeah, I refuse to not... I need to close it when I'm done with it, or else I for sure will spill everywhere and cause a big mess. And then... But the problem is it makes little squeaky noises. So, I don't... you know, for streaming, it's not the most conducive of water bottles, but... it's trying its best, you know. Alright, so Genji here. Let's do the awkward thing of scrolling. Just because the face, try to smooth things over and stay bright ever since then. Okay, Cannon was apparently having a moment. Why do I not remember whatever this was at all? Okay, that's what I was literally just about to ask. I appreciate the reminder. So, I was gonna say, was this Canon, like, monologuing? But no, they were... Oh, yeah, Shannon was chosen to go deliver food. Yes, yes. Oh, and, fucking Goda is, for some reason, pissed that he can't deliver the food. That was a weird thing, but that's a thing. Okay, and so, yeah, Shannon and Cannon were talking... He's talking about, like, oh, man, you know, like, okay. They're not seeing eye to eye, apparently, about, like, what's happening, or kind of, like, what's going down, it seems. I forget, did Cannon outright say? Did Cannon outright tell Shannon that Beatrice is manipulating? And or no, if he did say that she's manipulating. Okay, I think she did. Okay. Because I'm trying to remember exactly. If he did tell her that, then it's probably just like, she's like, I don't care. Our love is too great. She was a bit shocked. Okay. I could see her, like, not refusing that, or, like, thinking he's lying or something, but I could see her be like, that's hard to believe, and also I don't want this to not work out between her and George. So, like, yeah. Yeah, she's essentially being like, I don't view my life the same as you do, Canon. I'm grabbing my destiny by the horns, and I'm choosing to go where life has presented a way for me to get out of this kind of thing. Okay. Okay, so then, yeah, she was chosen to deliver the food to Beatrice. I'm sure that's going to be interesting. Goda is being an upset little man baby. And Genji says, Shannon. I've been calling for you for some time now. There was some. Let's be thankful that Beatrice can send us to the Golden Land from Canon. Okay. Okay, interesting. 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 So yeah, that's weird. That's a weird dynamic. So to like the two servants there, Shannon and Canon. Shannon's like, I'm going to take the, for lack of a better term, I'm going to take the out in the real life, and be like George wants to marry me, and we're gonna have this lovely, lovely life, and in this real world we're gonna do it, and that's how I'm gonna stop being in this position. And Canon's like, no, as long as I'm on this earth, I will be furniture, and the only way I'll get out of here is like a sweet release. If Beatrice has the ability to send us to, like you say, the Golden Land, then he's like, then that's how I get out of it. So it's like two different viewpoints of how to get out of their quotes heavy or shitty situation, right? One being like, for lack of a better term again, the end of their life being the way of getting out of it, the Golden Land, as it's being described, and Shannon being like, no, we still have this life and I have a way out of it, kind of thing. Canon was saying how they can finally become human. No, I meant that's the licking of the shoes. Yes. I had forgotten about that. Man, there's some small details that I forget after a few days. Yes, okay, that was a thing. I remember that now. So, Shannon jumped at the sudden sound of Genji's voice. Apparently, he had called for her repeatedly. She hurriedly answered. When she turned back, Canon had disappeared. It seemed he didn't feel like showing his tears to anybody. Oh, he's sad. He's upset.
Hi.
Yes. I'm sorry for being careless. I specifically was not going to fall for Genji's slow-paced talking there. There was an opportunity where he's paused for like 2.5 seconds. And I was like, I'm holding? I entrusted Canon with lunch, but it should have been you, as the next in rank after me, who carried it. Beatrice-sama is the most honored guest of this house. There is no more honored guest than her. Please think of her as another master, and be polite. Please, take extra care that you make no blunders. Understand? Shut up, Goda. All my homies hate Goda. It is quite painful for me to entrust this to someone as inexperienced as yourself, but there's nothing we can do about the house's rules. Carry out your duties with the utmost of care. Goda had officially agreed, but he glared at Shannon with an expression that told her he definitely wouldn't forgive any mistakes. Even Shannon felt that Gota might as well go himself if he was so desperate to go. But she considered this one of her responsibilities as one who had been allowed to wear the golden eagle and had to give up. And anyway, I wanted to meet Beatrice. Oh shit, we switched perspectives. We're fucking Shannon perspective now. That's a I don't want to make a big deal out of it. It's a very small thing in the long run, but the way they transition into Shannon's perspective like that, I don't know. I liked it. What will I talk about? What will I ask? I don't know. Will this be a meeting of gratitude? Or one of grief? Or else, what? I don't know. Shannon piled the witch's food onto the serving cart and left the kitchen at a slow pace. Maybe I'm just making big deals out of nothing. I tend to do that. The person knocking was Kraus. Father! Today is our annual family conference. Haven't the siblings gathered here just to get a glimpse of you? Ah, be silent! I say I won't leave. You're there too, aren't you, Genji? Why haven't you had my food brought here as I ordered you to? Kinzo screamed across the door. Genji was waiting behind Kraus. Your meal has been prepared so that it might be carried to the study. However, Kraus-sama has expressed his wish that you eat downstairs tonight. Father? I'm not asking you to do this every day. Just for this one night, won't you gather together with your family? Who are you calling family? Slap. Since when have you considered vultures circling in wait for roadkill? Okay, to be family. Would you call rotting, oozing maggots family as well? He's a little brash. He's a little bold about it, but I don't think he's wrong. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, my. Kraus shrugged at this answer, which he had half expected. Genji, carry the meal here as you were told. Why don't you listen to what I say? Why? Why? Genji-san. I'll leave this in your capable hands. My voice will no longer reach that man. Kraus gave his head a small shake, then quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He had only come calling to save face in front of his siblings, knowing full well how useless this was. After Genji watched Kraus disappear down the stairs, he called again across the door. Master. We have finished preparations for your meal to be carried here. Shall we bring some for Dr. Nanjo as well? Nanjo could be seen in the study. He's just there. Because Kinzo had forcibly pestered him into finishing their long-lasting chess game, they had been playing against each other since the early evening. Nanjo had announced as a doctor that Kinzo's days were numbered, so he couldn't refuse if Kinzo demanded that they finish this game while he still lived, because it's very important. Kinzo was thinking deeply about his move, concentrating more than usual. It had been Kinzo's turn for quite some time, and Nanjo, who was tired of waiting, had randomly pulled out a book on magic that he couldn't understand and was skimming it. Kinzo-san.
盤面を前に腕を組むだけではいい一手は出ませんぞ。
You won't think of a good move just by folding your arms and sitting in front of the board.
一つ休憩をして頭をリフレッシュしてみるのもいいのではありませんかな。
Perhaps we had better take a break and refresh our minds.
黙れ。
Be silent.
守りはこれで十分か。
That should be enough to solidify my defense. Solidify my defense.
ビショップやナイトに隙間を突かれはしないか。
Will the bishop and the knight be able to penetrate that opening? Today, Kinzo was focused on maintaining a strong defense. Normally, Kinzo's motto was that offense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite.
私も腹が減りました。
I can't help but think this is some kind of like big old metaphor. And like especially these lines back here. I don't know if metaphor is exactly what I'm trying to say, but like somewhere halfway between like a metaphor and halfway between like a foreshadow of some sort. I can't help but look too much into things constantly. I am also hungry.
ここいらで中断しませんか。
Shall we suspend the game here? Everything's a metaphor. I believe it. I believe it.
それに休みなく頭を回転させておりましたから、もう頭がクラクラです。
Besides, I've used my head so much without a break that I'm already feeling dizzy.
これ以上は私も最善手をさせるとは限りませんぞ。
At this rate, I might not be able to perform at my best.
それは困る。
Now that won't do.
チェスは互いに常に最善手を指さねばならん。
In chess, both players must always make their best moves.
そうでない一手は理解に苦しみ、思考を読むゲームを狂わせてしまう。
Any other sort of move is merely a nuisance to consider, ruining a game whose focus is predicting your opponent's thoughts.
それでは今日を著しく削ぐというものだ。
Such a thing considerably reduces our enjoyment. Kinzo sighed deeply and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Chess isn't chess without an opponent. If that opponent is tired and wants to suspend the game, there's no getting around it.
確かにチェスの目的は勝利を目指すことで、互いにそのために最善手を指す。
True. The goal of chess is for both players to make the most possible moves and aim for victory.
そしてそれを読み合う知的ゲームです。
It's an intellectual game where reading your opponent is key.
ですが、勝利以外にもう一つ目的があることを金蔵さんはお忘れではありませんかな。
But Kinzo-san, have you forgotten that there's another goal besides victory? What's that?
なんだと？
Nani? Oh, what?
勝利以外にどんな目的があるというのか。
What other goal could there possibly be?
金蔵さんがそんなこともお忘れとは。
To think that you of all people would forget something like that.
チェスを通し、親友と楽しい時間を過ごす。
Chess
ですぞ。
is a way to pass the time having fun with a friend. Always hitting him with the there are more important things than winning. We're firing a bow into Kinzo's heart. Nanjo has hit his life points directly. You got me there.
それは確か、ずいぶん昔に私がお前に言った言葉だったはず。
I believe I once said those exact words to you, long ago.
これは参った。
Yes, you've got me there. Kinzo, who almost always wore a frown, relaxed his face for once and laughed. Nanjo felt like he'd been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in ages.
そういうことです。
That's how it is.
一本取られたついでに、どうです？
Now that I've managed to take a shot back at you, what do you say?
私と下に降りて食事と行きませんかな。
Will you go down with me and have dinner? He's gonna laugh at you and just say, over my dead body. Fuck no.
食後にコーヒーと一緒にカスパロフの中盤についての議論でもいかがです
Why don't we discuss Kasparov's middle game and along with some coffee? Ellipses.
良い提案だが遠慮する。
An appealing proposition, but I'm afraid I must decline.
私はもうこの部屋から出られない。
I can no longer leave this room.
儀式は始まっているのでな。
After all, ceremony has already begun.
そうですか
Is that so?
では私はお腹もペコペコですからな
Well, my stomach is growling.
下へ降りることにします
I will go downstairs.
気が向いたらいつでも
Anytime you feel like it.
南條
I mean, the metaphor thing might... I mean, maybe I'm applying it too early, but this could immediately be talking about... He was saying, like, oh, normally he thinks offense is the best defense, but this time he's playing defensively. But that's just, like... That could just be right now referencing the fact that he's like, yeah, the ceremony started. My best course of action is to just hole up in this room. As I do. You know? Defense. Nanjo.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
おや何の礼ですかな
Oh, what could you be thanking me for?
お前とのチェスの決着はつかなかった。
We didn't finish our match.
だが、私が忘れていたチェスの目的はどうやら果たせたらしい。
However, seems I've somehow achieved that second goal of chess, which I had forgotten.
それはどうもチェックメイトと同じくらい重要なものであったらしい。
Didn't really work last time. Very true. Very true. And it would appear that goal is no less important than achieving checkmate.
らしくもない
This isn't like you.
何の干渉ですかな
Why so sentimental?
お前が言ったのではないか。
You said it yourself, did you not?
私には余命がないと。
My days in this world are numbered.
もう行け。
God, Kinzo loves his servants and Nanjo here, like, so much more than his actual family. It's actually quite upsetting. Now go.
そしてもうこの部屋へ来るな。
Don't come to this room again.
続きは黄金鏡であろう。
Let us continue this match in the Golden Land.
いいですが仕切り直しですぞ
That's fine with me, but we'll have to start over.
ルークが落ちてしまったのは痛手ですのでな
Losing that rook was a serious blow.
それでは後ほど
Well then, I'll see you later.
ああ、後ほどな。
Yes, later.
黄金鏡か、煉獄か。
Maybe in the Golden Land, or in Purgatory,
あるいは次の世で。
or possibly in the next world. Nanjo, a bit too lax about this. Is he just like, oh, Kinzo's dying, whatever he's saying, I'm not gonna, like, challenge him, I'm not gonna, like, he obviously is set on, like, this thing being a thing. Or is Nanjo fully on board? Does Nanjo know? Did he know? Does he know? Meme, basically. Oh, he just turned into a ghost. Nanjo didn't say anything beyond that. And, with a motion made smooth by familiarity, he pushed the button on the table that would release the auto-lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one last time, he left the study. As he did, Genji's voice came from the hall.
それでは親方様、
If you're ready, master,
これより夕食をお運びいたします。
I will now carry in your dinner.
最後の晩餐になるやもしれん。
It may be my final dinner.
味わわねばな。
I must savor it.
準備を頼む。
Please, prepare it.
かしこまりました。
As you wish.
親方様のご準備の方は万端となりましたか？
And are your preparations complete as well, Master? Indeed.
この部屋を今日まで問え旗への結界で厳重に包んだ。
In the time leading up to this day, this room has been carefully wrapped in a multitude of barriers.
あれのルーレットが私を選ぼうとも必ずや弾き返す。
Even if her roulette chooses me, I'll definitely repel it.
そして生き残り黄金鏡へたどり着くうちの一人は絶対に私となる。
I will remain alive and will surely become one of those who reach the Golden Land.
私を冥府へ連れ去ろうとする死神どもの来訪をも拒もうぞ。
I shall repulse the visit of the Reapers trying to drag me off to the land of the dead. Good luck with that. Here we go. Beatrice time.
失礼します。
Excuse me.
お食事の準備に参りました。
I've come to serve your meal. Shannon entered the VIP room, bowing her head and pushing the serving cart. The young woman by the window, gazing out into the supposedly empty darkness, was definitely that witch.
今度はシャノンか。
So, it is Shannon this time.
懐かしいな。
Oh, here we go. I like this. Dun, 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 dun. How long it's been?
ほう。
Oh?
顔色がだいぶ良くなったではないか。
Your face isn't nearly as pale as it once was.
カノンとは違うな。
I can see you're no cannon. A shot at cannon, I guess.
見違えたぞ。
I hardly recognize you.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. Shannon solemnly prepared dinner. There were actually several things she wanted to ask the witch, but they were all jumbled up and she didn't know where to start. Her heart was also jumbled up, and she didn't even understand her own emotions, so she could only do her job dispassionately, with everything still vague. However, the witch saw what was in her heart. Can't hide anything from a witch.
謝らぬぞ。
I won't apologize.
わらわは魔女だからな。
I am a witch, after all.
何がでしょう。
Apologize for what?
ほうや。
Come now.
カノンから聞かされたであろう。
Cannon must have told you about it.
そなたの恋路を助けたのはわらわの単なるいたずら心。
I only rescued your love life because of my mischievous spirit.
いかにしてこじれ、ねじれ、破綻するかを干渉するためにまいた種に過ぎぬと。
It was nothing more than a seed I sowed so I could watch your love grow complicated, become twisted, and fail.
恋はするより聞く方が楽しい方もおられるでしょう。
I imagine some people think it's more fun to hear about love than to have it.
まさかわらわに感謝しようというのではあるまいな。
You couldn't possibly be trying to thank me, right?
はい。
I am.
あなたが私にどんな下心があって恋の魔法を授けたとしても、
No matter what kind of ulterior motive you have, when you gave me the magic of love,
あなたが私に与えてくれたものは変わらない。
it doesn't change the fact that I received it from you. Damn! Shannon's like, hey, despite that you're intentionally trying to fuck me over, the fact that, what's the phrase? Oh man, Monica had said it to me on like several streams ago. It's better to have loved than lost than to not have loved at all, or whatever. I'm sure I butchered a couple words there, but I mean, it's certainly a way of looking at it.
だから添い遂げられないと知りつつまいた種であったとしても、
So even if I sowed that seed knowing that the two of us wouldn't be able to stay together for life,
私は恨んだりしません。
I won't hold a grudge against you. Hmm?
やはり家具というのは面白みのない。
It seems furniture is dull after all. Cackle, 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 cackle.
それを面白く調理するのがわらわの腕の見せ所よの。
This is where I show my skill by cooking it into something interesting.
私にベアトリーチェ様のお考えはわかりません。
I don't understand what you're thinking, Beatrice-sama.
あなたは私たちなど足元にも及ばない大魔女で、
You are a great witch, and people like us don't even reach your feet.
その遠大な資料など想像するにも至りません。
Nor can we even imagine your grand thoughts.
でも一つだけ言えることがある。
But there's at least one thing I can say.
なんだ。
What is it?
私に人間を教えてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for teaching me to be human.
あなたが言った。
You said it yourself.
私はもう家具じゃない。
I am no longer furniture.
黙れ家具。
Be silent, furniture.
真の人間ならば婚約指輪を受け取ろうという日に告げられた死の宣告に嘆き狂いて踊り出すだろう。
If you were a true human, hearing the announcement of your death on the day that you were to receive an engagement ring should have you dancing around mad with grief.
なのにそなたはなんだ。
But what are you doing?
達観し全てを受け入れたような顔つきではないか。
Your face looks so enlightened, as though you've accepted everything.
実に拍子抜けだぞ家具。
Truly an anticlimax, furniture. Damn, wow, Shannon actually able to upset Beatrice here by just being like, yeah, you wanting to make me upset isn't working. And then Beatrice is like, fuck.
いいえ、
No,
私は家具じゃない。
I'm not furniture. Alright, so 2 ways we know how to defeat a witch, according to the story so far with Beatrice. 1, just be incredibly, dull, and just constantly say witches don't exist, as we've seen from Battler. And then 2, just say, no, you didn't get me mad. I'm actually the opposite of mad. And then that'll in turn also defeat witches.
黙れ家具。
Be silent, furniture.
黙りません。
I won't be silent,
家具ではありませんから。
because I'm not furniture.
わらわの命令が聞けぬというか。
Are you saying you won't obey my orders?
家具なら命令に従います。
Furniture obeys orders.
でも人間は命令に従うかどうかを自分で決めます。
But a human decides for herself whether to obey orders or not.
だから私はあなたの命令に従わない。
So I won't obey your orders. Huh.
前言を撤回する。
I take back what I said.
やはり面白いぞ。
You really are interesting.
種をまかねばそなたは何の感情も抱かず儀式に身を任せただろう。
If I hadn't sowed those seeds, you probably would have allowed the ceremony to control your fate without clinging to any emotions.
しかし今のそなたは実に面白く育ちわらわを心底楽しませてくれるぞ。
But now you've grown to become something truly interesting, something that will entertain me to no end.
それでいい。
That is well,
わらわは退屈を愛さないのだから。
for I am not fond of boredom. Cackle, 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 cackle.
お夕食の準備が整いました。
Shannon's like, anyways, dinner. Dinner is ready.
どうぞ。
Here you go.
うん、
Take your fucking food. Mmm.
なかなかうまそうではないか。
Doesn't this look delicious?
ゴーダが黄金鏡へたどり着くことがあればわらわの料理長に任命してやってもよかろう。
If Goda makes it to the Golden Land, perhaps I shall commission him as my chief cook. I still, to this day, I think my brain breaks when I I know that was, like, chief. Not chef. But, like, I think there's something in my brain where I'm like, I already know what word it is, but then as I try to, like, say it out loud, I'll still, like, hesitate. As if I don't know words.
カノン君に聞きました。
I have the reading level of a 3rd grader, sometimes. I don't know. I have no instance of when I actually know. I don't know what age I actually start knowing how to read properly. Oh god. I heard from Canon-kun.
私にジョージさんの婚約を断らせれば、私を生贄にしないなんて約束をしたとか。
Something about how, if I rejected George-san's proposal, you promised not to make me a sacrifice. Indeed.
したぞ。
I said as much.
そなたは第二の番にうってつけの生贄候補だったのだがな。
You would make an ideal potential sacrifice for the second twilight.
カノンがそれを許せと泣いて叫ぶので、寛大に聞き入れてやったのよ。
But because Canon cried and screamed, asking that I spare you, I graciously listened to his words.
そなたが婚約を破棄すればとの条件付きでな。
With the condition that you abandon your engagement, of course.
わらわのなんと寛大なことよ。
Cackle. Cackle. See how gracious I am?
なんてバカな条件。
What a foolish offer.
そしてなんてバカな脅迫。
And what a foolish threat.
そんなものでカノン君をいじめ抜いたというの。
So, you used that to thoroughly bully Canon-kun, did you?
ほ
Oh?
う、わかるのか。
So you comprehend. Ha 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 ha. Apparently Shannon had seen through it. She had apparently guessed at how the witch had bullied and humiliated Canon with that horrible promise as bait. Okay, and then that's when then he kissed her shoes or whatever. Okay. Yeah.
絨毯に這いつく
Ah, yeah, she's recounting
わら
it.
わの靴にキスをさせてやったぞ。
It's as if Beatrice is reading my mind right now. Yeah, I know. Shannon's like, fuck you. Shannon is the ultimate, I'm going to enjoy my life as long as I have it. She's like, I don't even care what the results are. I could die tomorrow. I'm just going to live my life to the fullest. And be thankful for every moment that I have. Which is commendable. Go Shannon. Sorry, there was like a piece of food in my mouth from dinner. Alright, I made him crawl in the carpet and kiss my shoes.
それだけではない。
And that's not all.
他にどのような恥ずかしめを与えたか
Do you want to
聞きたいか。
Do you want to hear the other ways in which I humiliated him? Shannon silently shook her head.
あなたという人を
I
私
finally
はようやく理解
God, I
しま
keep
した
doing it. I finally come to understand you.
あなたは人をいじめ惑わせ困らせてそれを楽しみ糧にしている
You like to bully, confuse, and trouble people, and you do it to entertain yourself.
だからあなたに抵抗する唯一の方法がこれであると確信した
So now I know for sure, the one single way I can resist you.
なんだ
And what might that be?
あなたなんか知らない
I don't care about you.
私は私に与えられた運命を全うする
I'll carry out the fate that has been given to me. That's all.
だからあなたを面白がらせたりしない
I won't entertain you.
あなたなんか
Oh, we've hit her.
知らない
I don't care about you? The witch's features twisted in hatred for just an instant. It disappeared immediately, but the expression that briefly rose to her face was rare for the witch, whose malicious smile usually never faded for a second. Laugh, 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 laugh.
そういう抗い方もあるか
I see. So you might resist me in that way.
面白い
How amusing.
気に入った
How truly entertaining.
殺してやる。
I'll kill you.
お前の思い人と一緒にな。
You and your lover both.
それがあなたの決められた運命ならばご随意に。
If that's the fate you've decided upon, do as you will.
私はそれに怯えたり逆らったりしません。
I won't be afraid. I won't stand against you.
これから起こる苛烈な運命があなたの意志によるものだなんて信じないから。
After all, I don't believe the cruel fate that's coming is something controlled by your will.
私たち人間は未来に起こりうる運命など知らない。
We humans know nothing about fates that might come to pass in the future.
だからこそ最後の瞬間まで自分の信念と運命に従い精一杯生き抜く。
That's why I'll live to the fullest until the last instant, following my convictions and the fate set before me.
運命はただのサイコロの目。
Fate is just a roll of the dice.
そこに悪意なんて感じない。
There's no malice in it.
あなたが吹き込もうと信じない。
Even if you claim there is, I won't believe it.
ほう。
Oh?
家具をやめたくせに死を恐れぬとはな。
So, even though you've quit being furniture, you have no fear of death?
それがわらわを退屈させると思っているようだが、それは大きな誤解だぞ。
It seems you believe this will bore me, but you couldn't be more wrong.
そなたが本当に最後の瞬間までそれを貫けるか、ますます興味が湧いた。
The thought of seeing whether you can hold on to that view until the last moment merely serves to intrigue me more and more.
私は悔しい。
I can't stand this.
どうしてあなたは人の姿をして私たちの前に現れ人の言葉で語り私たちを嘲笑うのか。
Why did you take the form of a human, appear in front of us, speak with human words and ridicule us?
私たちの前に現れず運命を予告しなかったなら
If you hadn't appeared in front of us, if you hadn't predicted the future,
私たちは最後の一瞬まで精一杯生きられるのに。
we would have been able to live life to the fullest until the last moment.
それが魔女というものよ。
That's what witches do.
貴様らの運命を食い物に、工事の存在として定時の存在の上に君臨する。
I live off your fates, reigning as a high order being does reigning as a high order being does over low order beings.
そなたらの運命など、所詮はかけら。
Your fates are nothing more than fragments.
両手で碗を作ればいくらでも救える。
If I cut my hands together, I could scoop out as many of those as I want.
わらわに飼われた肉牛どもが何をほざこうとも、わらわの食卓を楽しませる結果に変わりはせぬのに同じこと。
Just like how no matter what the beef cows I raise might babble, it doesn't change the fact that I'll be having them for dinner. Wow, what a parallel. Laugh, 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 laugh.
無力な私たちにはあなたの儀式にも運命にも抗うことなどできない。
We are powerless, so we cannot fight against your ceremony or fate.
しかしあなたに今すぐ不愉快な思いをさせることはできる。
But I can make you unhappy right now.
ほう。
Huh?
それは何か。
And how are you planning to accomplish this?
今すぐここを立ち去ることです。
By walking away from this place right now.
あなたの言葉に答えることは全てあなたを楽しませている。
No matter how we respond to your words, it will only amuse you.
あなたの問いかけに答えないことがあなたへ唯一できる抵抗です。
Refusing to respond to your questions is my only method of resisting you.
なるほどなるほど。
I see, I see.
一矢報いることはできよう。
You might be able to take a shot at me,
しかし、わらわを倒すことはできぬぞ。
but you cannot defeat me, yes?
わらわは誰しもを永遠に殺す力を持っている。
I have the power to kill anyone for eternity.
永遠に繰り返し殺される輪廻の中で、そなたがいつまでその抵抗をできるのか、実に楽しみだ。
I cannot wait to see whether you can keep up that resistance in an endlessly repeating cycle of death and rebirth.
忘れるなよ。
Don't you forget it, okay?
自らが口にした言葉。
You spoke those words yourself.
それでは失礼いたします。
Well then, if you'll excuse me.
ご用がありましたらお呼びください。
If you need anything, please call me. Shannon gave a reserved bow and faced away. With that gesture, maybe she really did take a shot back at the witch, just as Beatrice had said. Because when the witch called out again, she sounded a little more quick-tempered than she had before.
カノンはわらわに感謝したぞ。
Cannon thanked me.
そなたは感謝せぬのか。
Can't you?
安息の日をわらわが与えることを。
Can't you thank me for bringing you your day of rest?
家具なら安息の日を喜びましょう。
Furniture may be happy when their day of rest comes.
ですが、私は人間ですので。
But I am a human.
だから、あなたに感謝することはありません。
So I have nothing to thank you for.
ご用はそれだけですか？
Is that all you have to say?
ジョージから指輪をもらうつもりであろう。
You plan to accept George's ring, yes?
受け取れば、わらわがカノンと交わしたそなたを生贄に選ばないという約束を破棄すること。 忘れるな。
Don't forget that if you do, I will abandon the promise I made with Cannon, the promise that you would not be selected as a sacrifice.
まだご用があるなら他のものを来させますので。
If you need anything else, I'll have someone else come.
それでは失礼いたします。
If you will excuse me. Damn, hit her with the full-on ignore there. Didn't even answer the question. A flat-out interruption. Shannon still hadn't answered her. And the sound of the door closing came instead of an answer. Shannon's resistance probably struck far more deeply into the witch than Shannon herself thought. Because an expression of hatred once again rose to Beatrice's face. She had made Cannon submit, even though he hadn't been ensnarled until the end. Ensnared. Ensnarled. I said ensnarled. Ensnared until the end. Whereas Shannon, who had been so easily ensnared before, refused to submit this time.
なんだ。
I see.
やはりこれは面白いことではないか。
So, this state of affairs is amusing after all.
わらわもまだまだ若いか。
Perhaps I really am still young.
これだから1000年は生き飽きぬのよ。
This is why I haven't tired of life after 1,000 years. Let me tell you, she looks great for 1,000 years old. Witch things. Witch benefits, I assume. This was most fabulous part of the This was most fabulous part of the family conference. Dinner. In the past, when Kinzo had been serious about the conference, he'd taken everyone's yearly gathering for dinner very seriously. Because anything embarrassing that occurred during the dinner would cause the deepest shame for him as the host. He had given Natsui stern orders to avoid embarrassments at all costs. Because of that, she and Kraus eventually hired Goda, who had confidence in his cooking abilities. Thanks to that, they became able... What the hell? What is up with these sentences? They became able to serve wonderful dinners they could be confident in. But by that time, Kinzo had closed himself up in his study and never appeared for dinner. Maybe you could call that ironic. Maybe I would. When the main dish for tonight, calf steak, was set out, Goda began to describe it proudly, further stimulating everyone's appetites.
こちら、ソースはボルドレーズとなっております。
The sauce here is Bordelaise.
ベースの赤ワインはもちろん、ボルドー産の中でも素晴らしいものを使用しておりますが、その他にも当家オリジナルブレンドとしまして。
Of course, the red wine base I used was excellent, even among those made in Bordeaux. But in addition, I prepared an original blend of this house.
世界各地、 数種類の名酒をブレンドしまして、より深い味わいとなりますよう整えてございます。
A blend of choice alcohol from around the world to further deepen the taste.
このソースは本年限りのものでございます。
God, it's making it sound delicious, honestly. And I know I had just like made mention that I'd eaten dinner recently, but like, damn, son. No, I tried to be good, and I had a pretty pathetic salad tonight. So now you're talking about like this super fancy fucking steak and everything. I'm like, ugh. The sauce is limited to this year.
どうかお楽しみいただければ幸いです。
I sincerely hope you all enjoy your meal.
素晴らしいじゃないか。
Isn't that wonderful?
しかしボルドレーズソースはフランス料理の王道ではないのかね。
However, isn't Bordelaise sauce common to French cooking?
それにフランス以外の酒を使うのは少し邪道ではないかという気もするね。
It almost seems like using alcohol from outside France with that is heresy.
旦那様。
Kraus-sama. Oh, Goda's gonna fucking tell him off. You don't think Goda has this planned for fucking, like... Come on, man.
本日は年に一度の親族会議でございます。
Today is the annual family conference.
普段は遠方にお住まいの皆様がはるばるお越しになり、一堂に集われた夜の晩餐には
As a dinner for those who normally live far away and who have traveled far from across the world to gather together.
世界各地より普段は出会うことのない名酒を取り寄せブレンドしたソースが何よりもふさわしいかと存じ、
I realized it would be most fitting to have a sauce made from a blend of fine alcohols from all over the planet that have never met each other before.
特別にご用意させていただいたのでございます。
So I had it specially prepared.
素晴らしい。
Wonderful!
本当に素晴らしい料理人や。あんたは
A truly wonderful cook. That's what you are.
能楽器が変わると料理も薬も効果は2倍になるっちゅうわけやな。
Food and medicine work twice as well if you sell it right.
元の料理のうまさも2倍、さらに能楽器で2倍。
It's already twice as delicious as normal food, and the advertising makes it twice as good as that.
味の売買ゲームや。
The taste keeps doubling and doubling. Wah! Ha 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 ha. It's his Wario impression. Giggle, giggle, giggle.
いやね兄さん。
Come on, Nissan.
その質問読まれてたんじゃないの？
That question of yours was obviously a plant. I know, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, of course, fucking Kraus knows, you know, like, what he's doing, and trusts Goda and everything. It was very rehearsed. It was
違いねえな。
no doubt about it.
まんまと美味しいところをゴーダさんに持ってかれちまったぜ。
You totally set Goda-san up to steal the show on that one.
そうかね。
You think so?
今日の料理をフランス風だと気づいていない者もいるんじゃないかと思ってね。
I thought there might be some people here who didn't notice that today's food was in the French style.
エヴァは先ほどバターを使わないのが美徳と言ったが、それはスペイン風だ。
After all, Eva just said that avoiding butter was a virtue, but that's the Spanish style.
確かに国境を接してはいるがね。
Well, I guess I do share a border, right?
そういう意味で言ったんじゃないわよ。
That's not what I meant.
話の一部分だけ抜き出して勝手に加工しないでくれるかしら。
Will you please not take a part of the conversation out of context and make stuff up?
とっても美味しいソースね。
It's a very delicious sauce.
ゴーダさんは本当に素晴らしいわ。
Goda-san, you certainly are amazing.
お褒めに預かり大変光栄です。
It is a great honor to receive your praise.
これもすべて奥様の日頃のご指導のおかげでございます。
And this is all thanks to Madam's habitual guidance.
いえ、すべてゴーダのアイディアです。
No, it was all Goda's idea.
私はレシピを聞き、承認しただけです。
I only listened to the recipe and approved of it. It looked like the siblings quickly got into a loud argument about the sauce, but for the most part, dinner proceeded peacefully. However, a certain question they desperately wanted to ask burned inside each one of them. It was about that visitor, the 19th person, the Golden Witch. In actuality, Eva and Rudolph and the rest were very much on their guards during this meal. If the mystery guest was ever going to be introduced, this dinner table would be the most appropriate place to do it. However, no place was set at the dinner table for the witch. Family conference would begin in earnest after the meal, and previous experiences told them that it might last until deep into the night. However, they couldn't imagine why such a person should be kept hidden until that late, if they were going to be introduced in the end anyway. So, even Rudolph and the rest were starting to feel a certain suspicion. Perhaps this guest was unknown even to Kraus. If this wasn't an assassin called by Kraus to give him an advantage in the inheritance problem, then maybe they should speak frankly to Kraus beforehand, creating a common front to resist anything disadvantageous to the four siblings. Don't make fun of my reading, everybody. If she was Kinzo's assassin, whose purpose was to keep the inheritance from being handed over to the four siblings, the enmity between Kraus and the other siblings could only become a weak point that benefited the enemy.
それではごゆっくりお楽しみください。
Well then, please enjoy at your leisure. When he finished explaining the reasoning behind the table setting and the cooking, Goda tried to leave the room, but Kairi called him to a stop with a small voice.
はい、キリエ様。
Yes, Kairi-sama.
何か。
What is it?
ごめんなさい。
Please excuse me.
今日はお客様がいらっしゃってると思ったんだけど、晩餐にはお見えにならないのかしら。
I was under the impression we had company today, but can we expect to be joined at the dinner table? She had planned on saying it nonchalantly, but unfortunately, it reached the ears of Natsui, who was sitting in the next seat over. I mean, everyone's defenses are so, high that, of course, anything anyone says is going to be listened to. It seemed that Natsui had heard it, as even though the guests are here, why hasn't the host come to dinner? In other words, that Kairi had asked whether Kinzo was going to join them for dinner.
当主様は体調が優れられませんので、お部屋で食事をとると仰せです。
The family head is not at his best, so he said he would take dinner in his study.
主人が初めにそう説明いたしましたが、何か。
I believe my husband explained that in the beginning.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
そうじゃないの。
That's not what I meant. Natsui's reaction instantly told Kairi that this unknown visitor was also unknown to Kraus and his wife, which meant, on the chessboard inside Kairi's mind, she could hear the clattering of the pieces as they rearranged themselves.
客?
Oh, here we go, Battler. God, I feel like we haven't seen Battler in a while. We need some Battler hijinks here. What do you mean we have company? Battler, who had been sitting next to Natsui, seemed to have heard Kairi's words without misunderstanding them. Thinking it strange that someone else would be invited to today's family conference, he spoke up incredulously. And thanks to that, the uncomfortable feeling building in the siblings' chest suddenly exploded. Everyone looked at Goda at the same time. Judging by their reactions, it was clear that no one had... Why can't I read? Judging by their reactions, it was clear that no one here had invited that mystery woman. For an instant, Goda was startled to find everyone's gazes gathered on him, but because of his naturally vain personality, this actually gave him a feeling of superiority. Therefore, he answered in an extremely calm and graceful manner.
はい。
That is correct.
貴賓室でお一人で食事を取られたいとのことで、そちらへお運びしております。
Our guest wanted to eat alone in the VIP room and is being served there. That extremely graceful and reasonable response of Goda's made it obvious to everyone that a 19th person, a visitor, existed.
貴賓室？客？
The VIP room? A guest?
何の？誰の話ですか？
What? Who are you talking about? Natsui's words echoed the question that everyone who didn't know about the appearance of the Golden Witch was thinking. For a while, Goda was disoriented, caught completely off guard by the sudden interrogation. This was a guest who had been treated with such deep respect. He hadn't imagined that Kraus and his wife might not even know about her.
そのベアトリーチェ様でございます。
The guest is, Beatrice-sama. Beatrice! See? See? Beatrice came! Oh. Maria had been telling the other cousins over and over again that she had met Beatrice that day. The cousins had answered flippantly, but they hadn't believed. So, their eyes grew wide.
すまねえ。
Sorry.
俺はてっきりマリアの冗談だと思ってたぜ。
I totally thought you were joking, Maria.
本当にいたんだな。
So, she really was there.
ベアトリーチェって、あの黄金のベアトリーチェなのかよ。
By Beatrice, you mean that Beatrice with the gold? Oh. I've been saying she exists the whole time. No one believes.
ごめんね、マリアちゃん。
Oh, Maria. Sorry, Maria-chan.
そういうつもりじゃないんだよ。
That's not how we meant it. After learning that everyone had doubted Beatrice's existence, Maria, who had been in a good mood all day, completely lost her temper. George, who sat in the next seat over, tried frantically to calm Maria.
ゴーダ
Goda.
それもディナーの何かの余興なのかね
Is this some sort of dinner entertainment? Wow. Kraus is like, oh, is this like one of those old murder mystery dinner parties? How fun.
なかなかの味な演出だ
Quite a performance.
兄貴
Aniki,
三文芝居はやめようぜ。
quit playing dumb.
兄貴が呼んだんだろ。
You called her here, right?
呼ぶ
Called?
誰よ
Called whom?
どこから
From where?
兄さん、
Nii-san.
はっきりさせましょう。
Let's be clear about this.
あれは誰？
Who is she?
まさか本当に肖像画のベアトリーチェだと言うんじゃないでしょうね。
Surely you aren't going to tell us it really is the Beatrice from that portrait, right?
私にはお前たちが何を言っているのかさっぱりだ
I don't have a clue what you people are talking about.
ゴーダこれは本当に冗談ではないのだな
Goda, you really aren't joking, right?
私はその
I
源氏さんからそのように指示を受けただけでして、その
was just ordered by Genji-san.
源氏を呼びなさい。
Call for Genji.
今すぐ。
Immediately. When Natsui yelled, Goda sped out into the hallway. The sound of the door being thrown open was a spark that suddenly set the dinner table ablaze.
じゃあ兄貴も知らないってんだな。
So, you're saying you're in the dark too, Aniki?
呼んだのは誰だ
Who called her?
親父ってことか
Was it Dad?
私には何のことかわからんね
I don't know anything about this.
お前たちは私が裏で糸を引いていると信じているようだがそれは大きな誤解だ
Seems you people think I've been pulling the strings behind the scenes, but that's a huge misunderstanding.
クラス兄さん落ち着いてな
Calm down, Kraus-Nissan.
わしらはもう腹の探り合いをすべき段階にないで
We've gone past the stage of skirmishing with each other.
もし兄さんも知らない怪人物だっちゅうんならこれはとんでもない話になるんやで
If you're saying even you don't know this mystery person, then something crazy's going on.
秀吉さん、言葉を少し慎みませんか？
Hideyoshi-san, can't you be a little more discreet with your words?
主人は親族会議に不要な人間を招いたりはしません。
My husband would not invite unnecessary people to the family conference.
まったくだ
Obviously.
お前たちは何を言っているのかね
What are you people talking about?
肖像画の魔女が額縁を抜け出して現れたとでも言うのかね
Are you saying the witch of the portrait is broken out of her frame and appeared? Kraus, come on, man.
実際にその魔女様に会ったという人間がいるわけでもなかろうが。
It's not as though anyone's actually met this witch face to face.
私
I
あったわ。
I met her. Even Rudolph nodded at Rosa's proclamation. I met her too. Uncle Kraus, believe it. Believe Mama. The brief tension was broken, and Maria also started to make a ruckus. By now, the room was thoroughly wrapped in chaos.
何が何だかさっぱりだぜ。
I don't have a clue what's going on.
つまりなんだ？
So what does it mean?
じい様に黄金を授けた魔女様が今年の親族会議にはスペシャルゲストとして登場ってわけかよ。
Does it mean the witch who gave grandfather the gold is showing up as a special guest this year?
しかし、本当に？
But is that really true?
ローザおばさんの見間違いってことじゃねえの？
Aunt Rosa didn't see it wrong, did she? Badoink. I met her too. Wah.
ローザおばさん、間違いなくなんですか？
Aunt Rosa, are you sure?
ええ、
Yes.
私とマリアは会って話もしてる。
Maria and I met her, and we even talked to her.
私は会ったの。
I met her.
あれは間違いなく魔女だった。
That was definitely a witch.
信じて。
Believe me.
私の見間違いとか錯覚とかそんなのじゃ断じてない。
I definitely didn't see it wrong or hallucinate or anything.
あれは
What on earth? Oh. What on earth was that? Uh-oh. In the instant before the typhoon arrived, Rosa definitely met a witch in the rose garden. But the scene had been so hard to accept as truth that the more she spoke of it like this, the less she understood what it was she had encountered. Ironically, since she was losing her composure, the more frantically she tried to cling to her claim, the more confused and hazy the things she was describing became. Because of that, it only took a single calmly spoken sentence to confirm the nature of what she was describing beyond doubt.
私も会ったわ。
I also met with her.
挨拶とはとても言えないけれど、一応言葉も交わしてる。
I greeted, well, I couldn't really call it that. I exchanged a few words with her.
ローザさんの見間違いとかじゃ断じてないわ。
It's definitely not something that Rosa-san just saw wrong.
キリエさん、それマジかよ。
Kairi-san, are you serious?
ええ。
Yes.
でも彼女は私に名乗らなかった。
But she didn't tell me your name.
だから彼女がベアトリーチェであると断定はできない。
So I can't say for certain that she was Beatrice.
でも、主観的で恐縮なんだけど。
However, and sorry if this is subjective,
私は玄関ホールで彼女に会ったから、肖像画と顔を見比べることができた。
but since I met her in the entrance hall, I was able to compare her face with the portrait.
私は第一印象で、彼女こそがこの肖像画の主に違いないって思ったわ。
My first impression was that this portrait has to be hers.
あくまでも主観よ。
This is all just subjective.
そんなことはありえません。
That isn't possible.
第一、その女はどこからやってきたというのですか？
In the first place, where did that woman come from?
今日の船は皆さんの送迎のための便が往復しただけです。
The only boat arriving today was the one that brought all of you here.
その船に乗っていたのですか？
Was she on that boat?
それを言われると弱いね。
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
確かにそんなご婦人と一緒に下船した記憶はない。
Of course, I don't remember any woman like that getting off the boat with us.
あら、そう？
Oh, is that all?
私たちの乗ってきた船以外に船はないってどうして証明できるの？
Can you prove there wasn't a boat besides the one we rode on?
できないわ。
You can't
来なかったは証明できない。
you can't prove one didn't arrive.
道理だな。
Makes sense.
来たは証明できる。
If another boat did arrive, it might be possible to prove it.
来たのを見たやつが見たと言えばいい。
Yep. If another boat did arrive, she might be possible to prove it. If someone saw it and said they saw it, then you're done.
しかし、来ないは証明できないぜ。
But it's impossible to prove that such a boat didn't arrive.
全員が来ない、見てないと言ったところで、全員が見てないところでこっそり来たことを否定はできない。
Even if everyone says that no such boat arrived, that they didn't see it arrive, you can't prove that it didn't. You can't prove that it didn't arrive secretly.
つまり、悪魔の証明ってやつだ。
It's a thing they call a devil's proof. It'd be simple to prove that devils exist. All you have to do is meet a devil. But it's impossible to prove that devils don't exist. Just by saying that no one has ever met a devil, you can't deny the possibility that they're hiding away somewhere humans can't go. You can't deny the existence of aliens for exactly the same reason. Until humanity searches the whole of space and can show perfectly that aliens don't exist, you can't be sure that they don't exist. And it's definitely impossible for us to ever check the entirety of space for the existence of aliens. Therefore, while there may be a number of ways to prove that aliens do exist, it will always be impossible to show proof that denies their existence. Man, if you're a believer, if you're an alien believer out there, and like, let's say like 1,000 years from now, people are still playing and reading Umineko, and then they get to this point, and let's say in like 1,000 years, at some point we've made contact with aliens. This would be an archaic little section here. People would be like, wait, what? When this was written, people didn't believe aliens were like widely known as a thing? I don't know why I'm so hung up on that.
となれば、僕たちが乗ってきた船以外の船で来たかどうかなんて、議論しても無駄な問題ということになるね。
So, any discussion about there being a second boat would just be a waste of our time.
僕たちと一緒の船にはいなかった。
Man, that just made me like feel weird though, going like someone's still playing or reading Umineko 1,000 years from now. Although I sometimes think about like along the same line, I think of like someone watching my Umineko playthrough 1,000 years from now, assuming YouTube is still a thing, the internet is still a thing. We haven't just wiped out the planet by then. Whatever. Alright, so any discussion about there being a second boat would just be a waste of our time. She wasn't on the boat with us. She wasn't on the boat with us.
それだけが事実で、それ以外の方法で、とにかくこの島に訪れたことになる。
That much is a fact. So she must have arrived on this island through some other means.
そうね。
That's right.
どうやって来たかなんて議論の必要はないかもしれない。
There may be no need to discuss how she came here.
肝心なのは現にこの屋敷に今いて私たちと晩餐を共にする気がないという事実よ。
What's important is that she's actually in this mansion now and doesn't feel like having dinner with us.
整理しよ
Okay, let's review.
う。今この島には後ろ宮家18人以外にもう一人客がいる。
Right now, there's another guest on this island other than the 18 people with the Ishiromiya family.
そしてそいつは兄貴も夏日姉さんも知らない客だってね。
And this is a guest even Aniki and Natsui-san don't know about, right?
知りません。
With how... What baffles me is they're all having the squabble here at the dinner table. But we know these characters, especially a good handful of them, are pretty bold and brash. I don't know why they don't just go, oh, she's in the VIP room, let's storm the room. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so shocked that they're all just like, what's holding them back from doing that? Other than that they've been told maybe they're a distinguished guest. But like, who's gonna stop them? Who's gonna stop them? Only themselves. Kinzo isn't gonna stop them. Kinzo's gonna lock up in his room. Any of the servants probably aren't gonna necessarily stop them. Maybe like maybe Genji would be like, don't. But if they were really wanted to, like, we've seen some of these people be like, take action, like, very, like, headstrong, like, just do a thing. And yet this, they're like, oh, I don't know. Oh man, like, they could answer all these questions they have by just going to the VIP room, I feel. I guess they're thinking about strategizing. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess they were talking about that before when they were like, oh, I don't remember. God, my memory's so bad. I don't know if it was this cycle or in episode 1 cycle, but like, where they had that letter. They read the letter and they're like, oh, someone is posing as the Beatrice witch, and that might be because they're trying to get the inheritance or whatever from us, and then they were like strategizing that way as well. So I guess we've seen that as an example, but I don't know. To me, it just seems, all I'm saying is I'm surprised some of these characters aren't immediately just, once they've been tipped off that she's in the VIP room, confronting them. Especially if they're all, as they say, oh, none of us invited her, so we gotta go do something. We're not just gonna let her chill there, but I know nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Be silent for now. Your headache will get worse. It is as my wife says. I have no idea what you people have been talking about up until now. Man, that also reminds me, speaking of the headaches and everything, remember like episodes ago at this point, I was like thinking like, oh, maybe Beatrice is Natsui. Much more innocent times early on in this playthrough here. Then there can be only one answer. Father called her here. Called her here for today's family conference. For the family conference? Again, why? I don't know that. I'm questioning you because I thought you might know. Eva, could you give it a rest? Kraus-Nisan said he doesn't know. So here's what we've got. Father stealthily invited the witch to the portrait as a secret guest. And she met with Rosa-san and Maria-chan, and then Kairi-san. That's all for now. If she has something to say to us, she could just show herself right away. Now we've got to wonder why she shut herself up without greeting us. Does this mean Dad, who never gave a crap about this family conference in the first place, secretly called a new mistress here? And had her wear the clothes of his ideal witch? This day is too important for that explanation to fly. There can be only one reason. To join in on the family conference. Oh yeah, dude, Genji just pulling off like an excellent like blonde wig and actually like just rocking the Beatrice look. I just envision like a scene where like Kinzo is asking Genji to do this and Genji's like, really? Do I really have to do this? He's just like, yes, if you care about me in my last days here. She wants to claim some right to father's inheritance.
バカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
当主様に愛人などと汚らわしいものなどおりません。
The family head wouldn't have something as filthy as a mistress.
お前は黙っていろと言っている。
I told you to be quiet.
私はこの屋敷でずっと親父殿と過ごしているが、そんな話は聞いたこともない。
I've lived in this mansion with father all this time, and I've never heard a thing about something like that. Dude, Beatrice stays winning here because she doesn't even have to confront these adults at all. Just her mere presence in the mansion is sowing seeds of chaos amongst them. Like, we're seeing them, like, bicker and everything towards each other. And she hasn't even had to, like, present herself to the majority of them. She's just in the mansion, and they're all freaking out, which is probably exactly what she wants. Because, again, we've seen, other than carrying out the ritual thing for whatever reason, whether she's being... I'm still not 100% clear if she just does that out of her own interest, or she's being forced to by whatever Kinzo was doing. But, like, other than the ritual, the roulette, whatever fucking thing you want to call it, it just seems like Beatrice's own goal is to, like, just be entertained. For whatever reasons. And so she's probably loving it, that she doesn't have to do much, and then it's like, just all these people are getting thrown into a tizzy. You know what I mean? If we stretch plausibility to the limit.
何十年も昔の愛人との間に隠し子がいたとして。
And assume father had an illegitimate child with some mistress decades ago.
それを親父殿が探し出し、今日という日に呼びつけたと。
Then maybe father searched her out and called her here today.
こう言いたいのかね?
Is that what you're trying to say?
あなた
Dear,
お父様にそんなものがいるわけがありません。
it's absurd to think father has such a child.
尊い後宮の血が愛人ごときに。
To waste the noble blood of the Ishiromiya family on a mistress.
先ほどから数人が見たと自称しているに過ぎません。
This is nothing more than a few people making wild claims.
幻想妄想白チュームに決まっています。
It's obviously a fantasy, a delusion, a daydream.
あるいはこれも夫を陥れるための皆さんの何らかの芝居なのですか?
Or is everyone taking part in some kind of act to trick my husband? So he has such a different mindset than all the other adults. Yeah. I just... I'm losing my voice. I just don't see what then... Like, fine, she wants to refute. She's like, okay, that's wild. Those claims of, like, it being, you know, a child of a mistress of Kinzo's or whatever the case, like... Okay, cool. Then, Natsui, please bring to the table... Who is she? Where does she come from? You know? Like, it's super easy to just constantly be like, no, that's absurd. That's an absurd idea. That could never be the case. But, if you're gonna keep batting those down, you gotta bring something, Natsui. I demand it. What act? If anyone's acting, it's you.
よせよ、姉貴。
Quit it, Aniki.
ちょいと暴力的な言い方だが、夏日さんの言う通りではある。
Natsui-san may be a bit over vehement, but she's right.
キリエは姿を見たが、俺は見てない。
Kairi saw her. I didn't.
姉貴もだ。
Neither did you, Anaki.
だがローザは見た。
But Rosa did.
しかしってことは、いるってことになる。
But that means she exists.
いるを証明している連中が存在する以上、いるで直ちに決着だ。
There are people who can prove she exists, so we're sure right away that she does.
悪魔の証明の逆パターンってわけだな。
It's the opposite of a devil's proof.
それに、俺も会いたいんだよ。
And I want to meet her too.
そして、一体当家に何の御用かと直接問いただしたい。
I want to ask her directly what kind of business she has with the Ishiromiya family.
それについては私も同感だ。
I agree with you on that.
六軒島へ何の御用かぜひお尋ねしたいものだ。
I do indeed wish to inquire as to what business she has on Rokkenjima.
白々しいこと言わないで。
Don't play dumb.
狙いは一つよ。
There's only one thing she could be after.
お父様の遺産を狙ってるのよ。
Father's inheritance.
相続問題に明るい弁護士に今後の作戦を練らせるべきよ。
We should work out our future plans with a lawyer who's hot on inheritance issues.
お母様と同格の権利を愛人が主張した場合、私たちの取り分はかっきり半分さらわれることになる。
If the mistress claims equal rights as mother, then our shares will be cut right in half.
ちょっとみんな待って。
Wait a second, everybody.
源氏さんがもうじき来るわ。
Genji-san will come very soon.
彼は何でも知ってる。
He knows everything.
きっと私たちの疑問に答えてくれるわ。
I'm sure he'll answer our questions.
それまでそういう話はなしにしましょう。
Until then, let's stop talking about this.
さあ子供たち。
Hey, you kids.
悪いけれど、大人はちょっと込み入った話をしないといけないの。
Sorry, but the adults have to start talking about something complicated.
ゲストハウスへ戻っていなさい。
Return to the guest house. Rosa yelled at the children, slightly overcome with emotion. The children didn't understand why they were suddenly being yelled at this time, but even the rest realized it too late. They were talking so bluntly about the filthy topic of the inheritance right in front of the children. Oh god, your parents suck, kids. Sorry to break it to you. Of course, they wouldn't want their children to remain, so they all immediately agreed with Rosa's plan.
そうやな。ローザさんの言う通りや。
That's right, just as Rosa-san says.
ジョージ、
George,
いとこみんなでゲストハウスに戻ってるんや。
take all the cousins and go back to the guest house.
いとこ同士仲良く遊ぶんやで。
You all play nice together.
ジョージ、言われた通りになさい。
George, do as you're told.
いとこみんなを連れて今すぐ出ていくのよ。
Take all the cousins and leave right now.
ちょっと待ってよ母さん。
Wait a second, Mother.
僕たちはまだ食事も終えていない。
We still haven't finished eating.
デザートもまだ来てない。
And dessert hasn't even come yet.
デザートはゴーダさんにゲストハウスに運ばせます。
Rosa's just like, dessert is canceled. We'll have Goda-san take dessert to the guest house.
だから出て行きなさい。
So leave.
ジェシカ、
Jessica,
ここから先は大人の話し合いです。
from here on, the adults will be talking together.
行きなさい。
Go.
わかったよ。
Sure.
まだ食いかけだってのよ。
Even though I'm still eating.
ってことは俺だけ例外ってことはないよな。
Well, guess I won't be the only exception.
理解してくれてありがとう、バトラ君。
Thanks for understanding, Bather-kun.
でもあなたラッキーよ。
But you sure are lucky. Huh?
どうして？
Why?
私も出て行けるなら出て行きたいのに。
I'd want to leave if I could. Yeah, Kyrie's a real one. She's like, I don't want to fucking be a part of this shit. Leave me out of it.
違いねえぜ。
I bet.
大人は大人で遺産をめぐって楽しい一家団らんをお楽しみくださいってんだ。
I'll let you adults enjoy your happy family chat about the inheritance.
私も席を外しましょう。
I will also leave my seat.
どうやら今夜は私の出番はなさそうだ。
At any rate, it appears my turn will not come tonight. Nanjo quietly rose to his feet. From his seat in the farthest corner, he had been calmly watching the whole discussion without butting in. Surely, that reaction of his was very adult, just what you'd expect of a calm old gentleman. When Nanjo rose from his seat, it ended up encouraging the others who were supposed to leave. The children noisily rose from their seats, and as they hurried into the hallway, the servants returned.
遅くなって申し訳ございません。
I apologize for taking so long.
源氏をお呼びいたしました。
I've called Genji.
お屋敷の中の戸締まりの確認に行っておりましたもので遅くなりまし
I was checking to see that all the doors and windows were shut, so it took some more time. It took me some time.
申し訳ございません。
My apologies.
さあ子供たちはゲストハウスへ。
Come on, children, to the guest house.
ゴーダさん、申し訳ないのだけれど子供たちの分のデザートをゲストハウスへ運んでくれるかしら。
Goda-san, my apologies, but could you carry the children's portion of the dessert to the guest house?
は、
Huh.
よろしいのですか？
Is that what you wish? It seemed Goda wasn't amused to see the dinner he'd worked so hard on interrupted like this. Goda, we've got more important things going on. He sent Natsui a look as though asking her whether that was really okay.
ローザさんの言う通りにするように。
Do as Rosa-san says.
それから私たちにデザートの配膳は不要です。
And it will not be necessary to set out dessert for us.
呼び出しがあるまで食堂には近づかないように。
Do not approach the dining hall until we call for you.
これは他の使用人にも伝えること。
Tell the rest of the servants to do the same.
いいですね。
Understood?
あ、はい。
Yes.
かしこまりました。
As you wish.
さあさあ皆さん、
Come, everyone.
参りましょうかな。
Shall we go?
マリアさんもこれ以上お母さんを困らせてはいけません。
Maria-san, you mustn't trouble your mother anymore.
マリアもベアとの話する。
I want to talk about Beato too. Beato. Binko. No, no, no.
マリアちゃん、
Maria-chan,
僕たちにゲストハウスでベアトリーチェの話を聞かせてくれないかい？
could you tell us about Beatrice in the guest house?
ぜひ魔女の話を聞きたいんだ。
I really want to hear about the witch.
ね。
Okay?
ジョージ兄さんは本当にうめえぜ。
You're pretty darn smooth, George Nissan.
感動するぜ。
I'm impressed.
本当に子持ちじゃねえのかよ。
Are you sure you don't have kids?
手慣れすぎだぜ。
You're too used to this. George's words had completely restored Maria's good mood, and now she took the initiative, telling the others to head on to the guest house. It looked like Goda didn't like being kicked out himself, but he couldn't disobey Natsui, so he left the room with Badler and the rest, closing the door.
ご用は何でしょうか、皆さん。
Is there some way I might be of service, everyone?
あるわ。
He was like, hell yeah. Yeah, there sure is.
たっぷりと。
We've got a whole bunch of questions.
それもみんな。
In fact, every one of us does.
誰から質問するかくじ引きが欲しいくらいよ。
So much that we almost want to have a lottery to see who gets asked first. Alright, Eva, stop being so dramatic.
だが誰が一番のくじを引こうとも最初にする質問は同じだと思うよ。
But no matter who wins the first lottery, first question will be the same, won't it?
違いね
That's right.
えな。源氏さん、
Genji-san,
正直に答えて
answer me honestly.
今貴賓室にいるベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ？
Who is this person called Beatrice in the VIP room right now? Oh, no. Oh, an ending point. Fuck. Should I end here? Bah. 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 I was hoping it was going to go for like another, 30 minutes or so. Where's it going to take me? Do I go with the kids or do I stay with the parents here? That's a good it's an important question here. Oh, we're going to the guest house, aren't we? Yeah, we're at the guest house. I'll read a little bit more. I'm not ready to end. I'm gonna screw the natural pausing stopping point. And I'll watch what the kids are doing for a bit, I guess. Yeah, I know. The game is taunting me. Hideyoshi's claim that advertising doubled the taste was apparently right. I want to know what their dessert is. Oh, it's cake. After being chased out to the guest house, the kids and Nanjo had gathered in the cousin's room and were eating the cake that Kumasawa had brought for dessert. Damn. Fucking Nanjo got relegated to hang out with the kids. It reminds me of, like, when, like, large families have, like, Thanksgiving meals or something. And then, like, they have, like, a large amount of family. And then there's, like, I guess sometimes, like, the kids' table. And then the adult table. And then, like, if they try to split it evenly, one of the adults gets left behind on the kids' table or something. And I didn't have that as like a kid, because, like, I didn't, like, for Thanksgiving meals and stuff growing up, like, I was never with, like, extended family, so it was always just my immediate family and stuff. But then, when I got older, and I, like, spent Thanksgiving at, like, other people's place, other family traditions, I saw the splitting of the tables take place. Or, if everyone's, like, an adult, then it's just, like, then you start to see the politics of families. Who gets split up, who gets sent to what table. Then you really see what happens. Then you get to see who in the family gets put in their place. Crazy. It was both wonderful and high class, topped with lavish amounts of cream and decorated deliciously with fruits. God, they're making a cake even sound good to me right now. But delicious as it was, didn't taste quite as good for some reason. Without Goda-san selling it, it isn't nearly as good.
脳書きを求めようにも熊沢のばあちゃんに聞いた日にゃこのケーキの原料もサバってことになっちまうぜ
If you had to think about packing order of this family, oh god. Eva, Kraus together. Rudolph close behind. I mean, I feel like you would just have to, like... I mean, I would try to, like... If it depends. I would think you would try to split just all the toxic people. Try to keep them together in one group. Spare the rest. Excuse me. Ow, I hit my elbow on my chair when I did that. Ow. Excuse me. I, like, violently, like, snapped my elbow against the chair thing. I ricocheted so much from my sneeze. Then Hideyoshi, then Kairi, then Marissa, then Natsui. I was literally just about to ask. I was like, who, other than the most obvious Kairi, who's the most redeemable, like, adult? And I think, I mean, Hideyoshi probably. Probably. If we ask Kumasawa-san to sell it, she would just say it's made of mackerel. Really? You can make cake from mackerel? Hideyoshi seems to get along with Eva, but nothing bad himself. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely feels like he's just kind of like along for the ride. But he doesn't seem very problematic, thankfully.
このケーキもサバの絞り汁に 小麦粉と卵を混ぜて焼き上げるとふっくら焼き上がるのでございますよ。
Absolutely, and as you can see with this very cake, if you mix the squeezed juice of mackerel and flour and eggs before cooking, it comes out all fluffy. Oh. Kumasawa has one joke, and one joke only. Hello.
それが本当ならすごいね。
That'd be incredible if true.
お父さんの店の新メニューにサバケーキとか登場するかもしれないよ。
Maybe mackerel cake will show up on the new menu at one of Father's restaurants. Whoa, funny.
サバって栄養満点でヘルシーっぽいイメージがあるしよ。
After all, mackerel's full of nutrients and sounds healthy.
女性とかお年寄りに人気が出たりしてな。
It might get really popular with women and the elderly. Wait, what? After all, mackerel's full of nutrients. Okay.
俺は食わねえけどよ。
But I'm not gonna get anywhere near it.
女はそんなゲテモノは食わねえぜ。
Girls won't eat something that weird.
年寄りも遠慮したいところですな。
Jessica speaks for all girls. Nandra says even the elderly would wish to decline, and Nandra speaks for all old men and women.
おいしいんですけどね。
But it's delicious, you know? Kumasawa was really cheering up the mood with her classic mackerel jokes. Oh, they're so good, the jokes. Oh, mackerel. This, mackerel, that. Man, it's just so funny. But the sound of the downpouring rain kept turning their attention towards the mystery guest. In the end, they showered Maria with questions again, since she was the only person here to have met Beatrice.
まさか
I got the
あの話が本当だったとはね。
mischievous music going. I can't believe she was actually telling the truth.
その口ぶりだとマリアが魔女に会ってたって話は信じてなかったまでにも初耳じゃねってことらしいな。
You make it sound like, though you never believed it, this Maria meets a witch business isn't news to you.
ああ。
Yeah.
夢見がちなお年頃のよくあるおとぎ話くらいに思ってたぜ。
I thought it was just one of those fairy tales you'd expect from a dreamy kid that age. She exists! Beatrice exists!
毎年親族会議に来るたびにマリアは会って一緒に遊んでた。
Every year, when we come to the family conference, I meet her and we play together.
そうですね。
That's right.
ベアトリーチェ様は普段はお姿をお見せになりませんけど、
Although Beatrice-sama doesn't usually show herself,
心が綺麗で素直な方の前にはひょっこり姿を現していたずらをすることもあるそうですからね。
I hear she sometimes unexpectedly appears before honest people with clean hearts. Ah, yes, the cleanest of hearts. Beatrice referred to that character in the fairy tale about the Rokenjima witch. To keep Kinzo in a good mood, the family and servants acted as though they believed in the witch of his delusions. That's how Rokenjima's fairy tale, or maybe ghost story, had come into being. To the family members who knew that backstory, the fairy tale of that golden witch wasn't something to be taken too seriously. However, they were never able to say that out loud in front of Kinzo. Because of that, the legend of the witch carried a lot more weight to someone like young Maria, who didn't know the story of how it had come into being. That's why Maria believed in the legends of the witch. She accepted it entirely. That was only natural for an imaginative girl who believed in witches, so people had avoided saying things that would betray her dream. On the contrary, they had worked together to say and do things that would help liven up her dreams without her knowing.
だからマリアちゃんがベアトリーチェにもらったお菓子と言って僕らに見せびらかすことがあっても
So, when Maria-chan was showing us that candy that supposedly came from Beatrice...
多分誰かがそういうことにしてマリアちゃんの手提げの中にこっそり飴玉でも忍ばせたのだろうって思ってた。
I figured someone subtly slipped it into her handbag.
私も 昔に2度か3度そういうふりをして
I've done similar things a few times in the past.
こっそりお菓子を置いてあげたことがあります。
Secretly placing sweets somewhere.
おそらく熊沢さんにも、いや使用人の皆さんや後ろ宮家の皆さんも一度や二度はあるんじゃないでしょうか。
I imagine even Kumasawa-san, or rather all of the servants and everyone in the Ishiromiya family has done it once or twice.
無邪気な小さい子が喜ぶなら口裏を合わせてお菓子を置いてくこともあるか。
So, if it'll make a small innocent kid happy, you might place a sweet somewhere and have everyone join in on keeping the secret alive for her.
ってことはジョージの兄貴なんかだいぶやってそうだな。
Come to think of it, I'll bet you do that kind of thing all the time, George and Nikki.
まあね。
Who knows? It'd probably be boorish to admit to such a thing out loud. George admitted it while being extremely wary that Maria didn't find out. Yeah, I know, it's like Maria's still in the room. Oh my god, I was literally just about to say a Santa Claus thing. I was about to say, like, you can't admit that Santa Claus isn't real while the person who believes in Santa Claus is in the room. People. In other words, it's kind of like Santa Claus.
子供の夢を守るために両親がグルで嘘をついて寝静まったこの枕元にプレゼントを置いていたと。
To protect a kid's dreams, the parents plot together and lie, setting presents at the bedside of a child fast asleep.
子供の夢って守ってあげたいし。
After all, you want to protect a kid's dreams, right? Who was I talking to recently about Santa Claus and everything? Probably my parents. Probably my mom. I was talking to, I don't know how we got on the topic, but I was like, shit. If and when, big if, big when, I ever have kids, I'm not doing the Santa Claus thing. And I think my mom was telling me that, like, more and more parents are getting to that point where it's like keeping up the lie of Santa Claus and everything is bad, or a bad prospect, I think was the whole thing. I think it was amongst like a bunch of, my mom was telling, I come from a large family, a lot of kids in my family, and she was talking about how like she was having difficulties trying to keep up the facade of a Santa Claus as some kids were getting older and realizing Santa wasn't a thing, but then she was holding on to like the, oh, there's still a couple kids that still believe in Santa, so we got to keep the magic alive, but we can't have other kids in the family like being saying things, and she was just talking about how like difficult it was. But then once the lie is there, then like having to like keep it because she doesn't want to lose that in her the last kids that she had, you know, kind of thing. She didn't want that magic to be gone for them. But then I think I was talking about like, yeah, if I ever have kids, like I'm just not doing the Santa thing. I'm not doing the Tooth Fairy thing. I can't do it. I don't want to have to then be the awkward parent that goes, yeah, we were lying to you about this very weird thing. Like it's like I can't imagine saying that to my kid. Just awkwardly putting up for me. Oh god. And then I talked to my mom and I was like also it's very funny looking back because like I said, large family. It was not subtle at all. My mom was always in charge of wrapping up like Christmas gifts, and with 7 kids in the family, like I remember distinct times even being a kid, both before I stopped believing in Santa and then after, that like my mom would literally spend a full weekend, a full Saturday and Sunday with her bedroom door locked and shut, and the kids would be like, where's mom? What is she doing? And it was like older kids and my dad having to like just hand wave it and just be like, she's busy. She's busy for the weekend. And she would just be like a mad woman, just be like wrapping gifts like all weekend, like multiple weekends throughout the year, because she would start early. It was madness, just fucking madness. Insane person's thing. And then my dad had to be the Tooth Fairy. And he wasn't subtle about it at all. I remember very early on being like, tooth fairy's not real, because I think my first or second tooth I lost. Like, I woke up in the middle of the night with my dad, like, hovering over me. And I just pretended like I was asleep. Oh, God. So funny. Yeah, just my dad. My dad was like, you know, my dad's a lot of things. Subtle in the middle of the night. Because my dad also likes to sleep. And so, like, he wasn't, like, waiting, like, late enough for it to, like, for me to be sure that I was asleep as a kid, you know, kind of thing, probably. Like, he probably could have stood to, like, go a little later in the night, but I also understood, like, he's that type of dad that wakes up early to go to work and all that, so, like... Yeah, exactly. Apologize, I'm not advancing the story here, and I'm just recounting dumb personal things, but... here we go. Jessica is saying, after all, you want to protect a kid's dreams, right?
私は当然サンタなんていないってとっくに知ってるわけだけど、
Obviously, I've known Santa doesn't exist for a long time now.
もし覚めなくてもいい夢だったなら一生信じていたかったぜ。
But if there's no reason to wake up from a dream like that, I wish I could have believed it all my life. Oh, Jessica. Oh, Jessica.
世の中は世知辛いばかりだと知ってしまうからこそ。
Because adults know that the world is filled with terrible things.
大人はせめて子供の綺麗な夢を守ってやりたいと思うものです。
I all want to at least protect the pure dreams of a child. She's gonna say something like, I still believe in Santa.
Beatriceは
No, not fun. Beatrice exists. Exists.
へえ、いますとも。
Yes, she does.
ベアトリーチェ様はおりますよ。
Beatrice-sama does exist, right?
この前もですね、サバを干して紅茶の出汁に使おうとしておりましたら、そこへひょっこり。
Some time ago, when I was drying mackerel, she has one to make some black tea. Suddenly,
まあつまりこういう調子
well, it basically goes something like that.
だったはずなんだけどね。
Supposedly, at least.
つまり
So, simply put,
マリアを除けば誰も信じてなかったはずの魔女ってわけだ。
this was supposed to be a witch that no one but Maria believed in?
少し言葉が足りないね。
I wouldn't phrase it quite like that.
信じてなかったんじゃない。
The point isn't that we didn't believe.
信じさせてあげようとしたんだ。
We were all trying to give her a chance to believe. So, this is about not betraying a child's innocence. But Santa doesn't exist in reality. If you don't want kids to be all disappointed when they learn the truth, you'd be better off not showing them that the dream in the first place. Exactly. Is the fact that I think like this proof that I'm still a long way from becoming a full adult? Is the fact that I think like this proof that I'm still a long way from becoming a full adult? I mean, if it's Battler saying this, if this is from the perspective of Battler, yes, you're a long ways away, my friend. The true nature of the Rokenjima witch was finally starting taking shape. The true nature of the Rokenjima witch was finally starting taking shape, whatever, in Battler's mind. I don't think I'd word it like this, but okay. However, their current situation overrode this understanding. And in fact, it completely overturned its very premise.
という認識だったはずの魔女のベアトリーチェ様が実際に現れちまったと。
So, we thought we knew what was going on, but now Beatrice-sama the witch has actually appeared in reality.
そういうことか。
Is that it? I just envision a moment here where Battler goes, so what you're saying is Beatrice is Santa. And then like just George and Jessica, even non-Joe, just like, what the fuck?
しかもだ。おじさんたちの騒ぎを見る限り、どうも招かれた客でもないらしい。
And judging by how freaked our parents were, it looks like she wasn't an invited guest.
こりゃ面白そうな話だぜ。
Now it's starting to get interesting.
ベアトリーチェという女性が実在しないという前提は実は存在しない。
There's no reason for us to simply assume that a woman called Beatrice doesn't exist.
ルドルフおじさんも言っていた悪魔の証明そのものだよ。
It's what Uncle Rudolph called a devil's proof.
ベアトリーチェと名乗る女性の存在を僕たちは誰も知らなかった。
None of us knew that a woman calling herself Beatrice existed.
でもだからといってそれがベアトリーチェが実在する可能性を否定できるわけじゃない。
But that's not the same as proving that Beatrice doesn't exist.
南條先生はじい様との付き合いが長いですよね。
Dr. Nanjo, you've been friends with grandfather for a long time, right? That was the sigh of, unfortunately, yes.
一時期親族会議でクラウスさんたちに随分と聞かれた話ですな。
At one point during the family conference, I was questioned quite thoroughly by Kraus-san and the others.
その昔金蔵さんにベアトリーチェという愛人がいて、その隠し子がいるのではないかという話です。
They wanted to know if, long ago, Kinzo-san might have had a mistress called Beatrice, and an illegitimate child with her.
なるほどな。
I get it.
親父たちは遺産分配で頭がいっぱいだ。
Our parents, I said imparents. Our parents have their heads full with the inheritance problem.
そこに愛人の娘なんてのが現れれば、面倒なことになるのは火を見るより明らかってわけだ。
So of course, if the daughter of a mistress like that showed up, it'd be troublesome for them.
クラウスさんたちも最初は源氏さんに聞かれたのでしょう。
Kraus-san and the rest probably asked Genji-san about it first.
しかし源氏さんは金蔵さんに忠誠を誓う側近で、多分私よりも金蔵さんが心を許す親友です。
However, Genji-san is an aide who's sworn loyalty to Kinzo-san, and is probably a friend more trusted by Kinzo-san than myself.
源氏さんは多分何も語らなかったのでしょう。
I doubt he told them anything.
それで次に古い友人である私の方に話を聞こうということになったのでしょうな。
So next, they went to ask me, as an old friend of his.
で、
And?
結論として南條先生。
Did grandfather have a lover called Beatrice, Dr. Nanjo? Come on, spill the beans. Ah! I mean, good for Kinzo, honestly. I mean, getting it on with Beatrice, an attractive 1,000-year-old witch with magical witch powers, gold, other things, other benefits probably. I was gonna say, whatever she did, whatever her and Kinzo did, and whatever she did to him, it drove him so crazy that he then devoted the rest of his life to, like, basically learning magic or whatever. So she must have been pretty good. That's all I'm saying. I think Natsui did mention in episode 1 that Kinzo's marriage was arranged. Yes, that was brought up, wasn't it? So it's not almost the same thing, but like, it's the dilemma of like, okay, he was in an arranged marriage, probably to someone he didn't really care for, didn't actually love, but it was for just it was something like the stabilization of the Yoshiromiya, like, family name and stuff, and basically the family. It was basically like an arranged marriage to, like, make sure the family, like, withstood whatever, like, economic failings that were happening before he, like, completely, like, revived it. Or it was to, like, push the family name and status, like, forward, basically. So it's not that wild to think, like, okay, he was in an arranged marriage. Here comes Beatrice and knocking on his door somehow. They meet up. It's not good, but I don't blame him. I'm joking. He did.
いえ、私は会ったことはありませんぞ。
No, I have never met her.
ですが、そういう女性と交際があったと金蔵さんから聞かされたことはありました。
However, I have heard from Kinzo-san that he had a relationship with a woman like that.
相当昔にお亡くなりになられたそうで。
He said she passed away a very long time ago. Hmm.
死んだ。
She's dead?
その間に子供がいたとか。
So, did the two of them have a kid?
それはわかりません。
That I do not know.
ただ金蔵さんはベアトリーチェを蘇らせるために研究をしていると常々言っておりました。
But Kinzo-san always says that reviving Beatrice is the goal of his research. Alright, so now this just brings many things. Is the Beatrice we know as Beatrice, is she the Beatrice of the person he had maybe this relationship with? Is it the same Beatrice? Did he actually revive Beatrice? Is this another being that has taken on the name of Beatrice? Is it a witch separate from the Beatrice that we knew? Was Beatrice, when he had a relationship with her, someone who was still technically a witch at that point? Or did something happen where she died and then a witch like took her name? Oh, there's so many possibilities, dude. There's so many.
愛人を失い忘れがたみがいたならばそちらにその分の愛情を注ぐものです。
The possibilities are limitless. It's like I went to fucking Olive Garden and got their unlimited pasta. Is that what they do? I know they have unlimited breadsticks or whatever. Do they do unlimited pasta as well? I don't know. I've been to Olive Garden once in my life. Usually, if one loses a mistress, but as a child. And the one time I've been to Olive Garden, I was not there to get unlimited food. They have unlimited gnocchi? I don't know if I've even had gnocchi in my life. Usually, if one loses a mistress, but has a child left behind to remember them by, they pour all their love onto that child.
ですから金蔵さんとベアトリーチェの間に子供はいなかったろうと私たちは自然に考えました。
Therefore, we naturally assume that there was no such child between Kinzo-san and Beatrice. Okay, I was just about to ask, is it wild that I've never had gnocchi? Is that really that crazy? I'm pretty sure I know what gnocchi is. It's like the little... It's like those little... I'm making a hand motion you can't see, but like... circle-y things. Round gnocchi. I should make a gnocchi dish. I'm going to the grocery store hopefully tomorrow. I'll go pick something up. I'll figure out what to do. They're like soft balls of potato and super good. So is it basically like little balls? It's almost like pierogies, yeah? Like pierogi? Like a pierogi, but ball? Ball pierogi? More dense. Interesting. Interesting. I had to look up a recipe or something. And not a pocket of something. Okay. So it's just a hard, dense ball of potato.
Huh?
I don't think you were here for it, but earlier in the game tonight, they were talking about the excellent food that they were making and eating at the table and everything. And like I was saying, it was making me hungry because like I had a less than spectacular salad that I had made myself, and I was wishing, and now I'm like, now I'm thinking of gnocchi dish. I'm like, ah. Battler says,
ってことは、それも悪魔の証明になっちまうな。
So, it leaves us with another devil's proof.
なるぜ。
Yeah.
愛人との間に子供がいなかったことは証明不能。
It's impossible to prove that a child between him and a mistress didn't exist.
現にこうして現れた以上、いたってことになっちまうわけか。
Oh, exactly. So it's like he could have had like a million children, and we can't disprove them. So now that this child has actually appeared, we have to assume she did exist after all.
少し暴力的な理論だね。
That's a bit of a rushed argument.
後ろ宮家の遺産問題でトラブルが生じていることを聞きつけ。
It's more realistic that someone caught wind of the trouble with the Ushirimiya family inheritance.
何者かがおじい様の大昔の愛人関係を知り。
Knew about grandfather's relationship with the mistress long ago.
それを装って遺産問題に食い込もうとしているとかの方が現実的だよ。
And impersonated her, trying to take a slice of the inheritance for themselves.
現実的ではある。
Sure, that is realistic.
しかし、本当に彼女が隠し子で。
But we can't deny the possibility that she really is an illegitimate child.
しかもその上、じい様に顧みられなくて、孤独に生き、復讐に帰ってきたって設定も否定はできねえよな。
One who lived in isolation, forgotten by grandfather, who's returned for revenge, right?
復讐
Revenge?
なんだよそれ。
What do you mean?
ああ、すまんすまん。
Ah, sorry.
男なんだよ。ついつい面白そうな方に脚色しちまうぜ。
Guys just like to dramatize stuff to make it sound interesting.
妙なドラマの見過ぎだな。
I've seen too many weird dramas. Okay. Now, I'm not ruling it out completely that maybe Beatrice that we see is some like weird, through some weird event in the story of this game, like is some illegitimate child or something. I'm not going to possibly say that's not 100% one way or the other or whatever. But we've seen now in this game possibly go like, it's just not saying it's weird, but like we've seen this game do this thing where it starts going one direction. It's like the conversation several parts back where it was between like Battler and Kyrie, and they were discussing the possibility that there wasn't another person, and that like one of the people on the island was the killer or whatever, right? Was that the case? Also, when I say the killer, I always think of the fucking mashup like clip of like what's her name? Always talking about the killer. God, why is her name like escaping me? Fuck, I ruined it. The killer. I can't say the killer without immediately having my brain. Wendy Williams, yes, the goat. Without my mind immediately going to Wendy, that clip in my head playing of Wendy Williams. But like when Kyrie and Battler were having that discussion, they went on this tangent like, oh, maybe one of us is the killer because no one else could have entered the island with yada yada yada. And then it ended up just like not being true, seemingly. So like I don't think this game shies away from the fact of just like having characters go on a tangent of like a possibility and then just like at some point like easily dismissing it. I don't know. Just a tangent I'm going on. Here we go. Normally, that might have come off as a light joke, but the joke had landed after an uninvited mystery guest calling herself Beatrice had marched in on the day of the family conference where the bloody argument that the inheritance had become took center stage. There's no way Battler's joke would be welcomed with laughter. I can't. Now I'm just thinking of Wendy Williams, and I'm just laughing my ass off in my own head. It's very distracting. I can't... What? Wendy Williams in that show she was on. I can't say I've watched a full episode from front to end, like, ever. But I've seen so many clips. It is so insane. It almost feels like an unreal thing, and then you're like, no, that was a real show that would just happen during the daytime. Ugh, your mom... I love that for her. It was like, what? It was just like celebrity gossip and stuff, right? But like, Wendy Williams, man. No, what I did watch was like, what was it? A year or so, maybe a couple years ago at this point, there was that Wendy Williams like unofficial documentary fucking thing or something. Like not a Lifetime movie, but something like a Lifetime movie. The Wendy Williams show is what Eric Andre is trying to make. Yeah, Yeah, that's the weird part, and it's like real. That's the thing. It's insane. Wendy Williams, a trailblazer, honestly. Yeah, she is just effortlessly funny. It's so good. The show. And then there's like the clips where she would say something mean or something, and then it would flash to like a random person in the audience, and then it would flash back to Wendy Williams, and then she's like making a face. Like, it's just like, there's so many. Oh god, Wendy Williams. I know what I'm gonna be doing once I cut the stream here tonight. I need to find some Wendy Williams compilations. There was no way Battler's joke would be welcomed with laughter. So it was a really big help when Nanjo laughed brightly to calm everyone down. I see. That does sound quite intriguing. I would love to read a novel with a plot like that.
まあ現実にはそんなことはできねえと思う。
Well, I don't think it could actually work.
何しろよ。今この島にはひふみ18人もいるんだぜ。
After all, right now on this island there's 1, 2, 3, full 18 people, right?
妙なことをすればすぐにでも取り押さえられちまう。
If anyone tries to do something weird, they'll immediately get caught.
それに台風のおかげで島から逃げ出すこともできない。
And thanks to the typhoon, they can't even leave the island.
つまりとんでもない事件を起こそうにもどうにもならねえってことさ。
In other words, if you tried to commit some crazy crime, you'd be screwed. Oh, that's so... Little does Battler know.
同感だね。
I agree.
退路の断たれた袋小路で、しかも十分怪しまれているような状況下で。
In a dead end, without any way to escape, and in a situation where everyone's really suspicious of her.
そんな恐ろしい復讐劇なんか、とてもできるとは思わないね。
I seriously doubt she could pull off a terrifying revenge drama like that.
でしょうな。
Probably not.
ならば姿など現さずに暗躍しての復讐の方が現実味があるというものです。
In that case, it'd be more realistic if she had come in secret without making her presence known. God, this game knows what it's doing. The story, these last few lines where it's like, oh, yeah, it would be impossible for her to do it. Everyone's guard is so up. And like, we, as the player who has witnessed the first episode, now we're knowing like, oh shit, we already know she's set to do the same things again. She's said so as much. She said, oh, she planned on using like Shannon and George here for the second Twilight, you know, killing of the people that are in love or whatever. She's gone on to say, she has said that she's gonna murder people. So we know. So now this game is like just baiting us. Just like, oh, they're like, oh, there's no way some hideous crime could be committed. And then we as the reader are like, oh no, we gotta figure, oh no, how is she gonna do it? I can't wait till Beatrice kills some people. I'm so excited to see the killings. I simply cannot imagine someone appearing openly to take revenge outside of some historical drama. Well, who knows, right? Revenge is based on emotion, not logic.
それこそ差し違えてでもなんて考えたら別に警察も人数も退路がなくても何も怖くはないかもしれねえぜ。
If you got someone willing to go down along with their opponent, they might not be afraid of anything, not even the police or large numbers of people.
大丈夫だよ、ジェシカちゃん。
It's okay, Jessica-chan.
僕たちが想像するような物騒なことは何も起きないよ。
None of the disturbing things we're imagining will happen. Those are some massive famous last words.
遺産をめぐっておじさんたちがバトルロイヤルってのが物騒なことじゃねえっつってんだろうな。
That's such an unfortunate thing for George to say. Like the battle royale between our parents over the inheritance isn't disturbing.
そうだよな。
That's right.
父さんもルドルフおじさんも体格いいし、エヴァおばさんなんか格闘技習ってんでしょ？
Dad and Uncle Rudolph are pretty tough, and Aunt Eva's even trained in the martial arts.
大丈夫だよね。
We'll be fine. Yeah. Jessica didn't say it out loud, but she vaguely noticed that her own father stood in opposition to all the other siblings on the inheritance issue. They usually played nice in front of the children, but when that pretense was lifted away, like it had been at dinner, the result would be a tumultuous uproar. After realizing this, it was only natural for Jessica to be frightened at the thought. Yeah, it's very much like a, they were in fact definitely not fine, like, moment. That her parents might get caught up in some kind of trouble and become human sacrifices for something terrifying.
だよな。
Seriously.
ジョージの兄貴の言う通りだぜ。
George Shiniki's right.
何も起こらねえよ。
Nothing's gonna happen.
魔女様の名前を語ろうとも。
Even if she pretends she's a witch.
魔法も使えない人間の女が一人で何ができるってんだ。
What can a single human woman who can't even use magic do? This is so Oh my god. We're having a hit the button. We're having a certified Maria moment. Wow, 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 wow. The alarm has been hit. Oh no, Maria's back on her bullshit. She's gonna say some things. The sudden creepy laugh made all of them jump. And when they realized the strange laugh was coming from Maria, they were shocked again.
そうなんだ。
Oh my god. I see.
それがバトラの認識なんだね。
So that's how you see it, Battler.
何かだよ。
What is?
気色悪い声で笑うんじゃねえぜ。
Don't laugh all creepy like that.
バトラはベアトリーチェの存在をとりあえずは認めてる。
You accept Beatrice's existence for now.
19人目の客人程度には認めてる。
At least you accept her as the 19th person and a guest.
でもそこまでだね。
But that's all, right?
19人目のベアトリーチェが魔女であることは認めてないね。
You don't accept that the 19th person, Beatrice, is a witch, right?
突然何を言い出すかと思えば。
Huh? All the crazy things to say.
そりゃそうだろ。
Of course that's what I think.
魔女なんているわけがねえ。
Witches couldn't possibly exist.
それを語る人間の女しかありえねえだろうが。
The only possibility is that she's a human woman claiming to be a witch. Laugh noise.
あれ？
Hmm?
おかしいよバトラー。
Isn't that odd, Battler?
それは悪魔の証明だよ。
That's a devil's proof, isn't it?
魔女なんているわけがね。
Of course witches don't exist.
でもそれはバトラが魔女に会ったことがないというだけで、
But just because you've never met a witch,
魔女の存在を否定することにはならないね。
that doesn't mean you've proven that witches don't exist, right?
そうだな。
That's right.
確かにそうだ。
You're not wrong there.
魔女がいねえを証明することはできない。
I can't prove that witches don't exist.
しかし、証明はできなくても主張はできる。
However, even if I can't prove it, I can claim it.
魔女はいねえという俺の主張だ。
I claim that witches don't exist. Very much like a I declare bankruptcy type moment. Just state it. Just say it out into the ether.
どうして？
Why?
どうして魔女はいないなんて証明できないくせに主張できるの？
How can you claim that witches don't exist, even though you can't prove it?
そんなものはいねえからだよ。
Because things like that don't exist. Again, this just goes right back and reinforces my very low intelligence score thing. Like, as long as he just remains ignorant, he's fine. He's untouchable. Witches are unable to touch the massive ignorance that is displayed here. It's so good. It's impenetrable defense. So, that's QED? You finished your proof without any evidence or basis. Oh, she's claiming that he didn't show his work. Damn. It's like a math teacher. You go into algebra, you have to do some proofs, and she's like, you missed some steps. It's like me bullshitting proofs, where I just like copied work at the last minute or something, and then it's like all your steps to your proof aren't there, and I'm like, it's fine, I just knew what it was, don't worry about it. Now there's a typical case of the willfully ignorant. Let me try that again. Now there's a typical case of the ignorant willfully ignoring the shallowness of their own knowledge. God, she's putting him in his place. A reckless suspension of thought. Then there's only one way to resolve this, Maria. The witch's side needs to show some proof themselves. It's a devil's proof again. If you bring me a devil, we can end this right now. In this case, we can just get this woman calling herself Beatrice to display some wonderful, magnificent magic like the twinkling stars. All she has to do is show us something. That's impossible for humans, right? Come now, you two. Please settle down. Kumasawa noticed that the atmosphere between them was getting worse and tried to calm them. It seemed as though Battler quickly realized that he wasn't acting like an adult. But Maria's expression didn't loosen. As she, laughed creepily, she kept staring at Battler. You quit it too, Maria. Let's get back in a good mood, okay? Laugh, 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 laugh. If that's what you want, Beatrice will definitely show you. Something impossible for humans. When she does, you'll believe too, okay? You'll believe in Beatrice. And you're gonna fucking like it. Sure. If she lets me have a look, I'll believe. Oh, my water bottle. Oh well, I dropped the lid too far away from me. It's a chess debate between the witch and you, Battler. If you get checkmated, you'll believe in the witch. Ooh, I like the way you put that. The witch shows her magic. My king is put into check. I quibble, saying it'd be possible to reproduce her feat using measures even a human could take, and my king escapes. Failing to do that would be checkmate, so that's a pretty good analogy. Battler. In chess, you and your opponent have pieces that move in the same way. So you can predict your opponent's moves. But you know what? What you aren't expecting is that your opponent's pieces might be able to move in ways far stranger than yours.
魔女のはずないからと、ベアトリーチェの動かす駒の動きを自分とどうせ同じだと決めつけている。
You've simply assumed that, since witches must not exist, the movements of Beatrice's pieces will obviously be the same as your own.
でもね。
But you know what?
悪いけど、バトラのチェスの相手は人間じゃない。
Sorry, Battler, but your chess partner isn't human.
魔女なの。
She's a witch.
人間にはさせない駒の動きができる。
She can move her pieces in ways that humans can't.
バトラは今、そこの認識を間違えているの。
Right now, your understanding is flawed.
バトラは、キリエおばさんのチェス盤思考って好きでしょ？
Battler, you like Aunt Kyrie's chessboard thinking, right?
ああ。
Yeah.
相手の立場に立っての思考術ってやつを
I like
気
that.
に入ってるぜ。
I like that style of thinking, where you stand in your opponent's shoes.
だからダメなの。
And that's why you'll get stuck.
相手は魔女なのに、バトラはそれを認めない。
Beatrice doesn't wear shoes. No. Even though your opponent is a witch, you won't accept it.
だから魔女のさせる手を理解できず、チェス盤思考が通じない。
So you can't understand the moves a witch might make, and your chessboard thinking won't work.
相手の認識を間違えている。
Your knowledge of your opponent is mistaken.
チェス盤思考の一番最初の前提が崩れてる。
The very first premise of chessboard thinking is broken down.
おー。
Ah.
そう来るかよ。
So that's your game.
そなたは魔女とのチェスに勝てぬ。
You cannot win in chess against a witch. Where are we going? Is this going to be the stopping point then for us tonight? I think I said about an hour ago I was going to go for just 30 more minutes. Oh, we got a Shannon moment. Okay, yeah, we'll end here then. So what? Yeah, today's Thursday. Nope, today's Wednesday. Damn, I started the stream not knowing what day it was. Ending the stream not knowing what day it was. Today's Wednesday. No streams tomorrow. Friday, I assume I'm finishing Disco Elysium, from what I've been told. But who fucking knows? That's, I guess, the intention. Saturday, we'll do the usual. We'll do Saturday night, Umineko, Chunk. And then Sunday, I don't know what the hell. Sunday, maybe we... Sunday, probably inevitably finish Disco Elysium when I don't finish it. Friday is most likely going to be the case, but I say that half joking. Yes, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun. Back Friday night, Umineko Saturday. Anything else I needed to say? I don't think so. Other than have a nice rest of your Wednesday. And see you in another stream.